So we're going to go through these examples here. These are notes for transfer or translations. So as you guys just summarized in our little warm-up type questions. So yes, X variables move things left and right. Y variables move things up and down. So if I want to move to the right, I should add to X. If I want to move to the left, I should subtract from X. If I want to move up, I should add to Y. If I want to move down, I should subtract from Y. So when I look at this whole thing just shifted to the right, correct? So what I'm going to do is, now from what we did yesterday, we realized when we're moving left, right, the shape does not change at all, right? So all of the points are going to shift together evenly. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to count how far this moved. This moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I counted from D to D prime. If I wanted to count from A to A prime, oh yeah, that little. So if I have a point, this is D to D prime. So this little marking means I would call this D prime. Prime, come on. So that's how we say that. That will be D prime. So all I'm doing is shifting the whole thing over. So here with this, if I'm moving 12 to the right, come on, let's focus. I should be adding to X. So my rule here is going to be, is going to be X plus 12, comma, Y. So if I want to translate any of these points, all I'm going to do is follow this rule. I'm going to just add 12 each time. So I'm going to add this extra step in here. Be like, oh, 0 plus 12, comma 0. Oh, what's 0 plus 12? Yeah, so that gives me the new point of 12, comma 0. Notice the Y value did not change in trying to move this left and right. Again, same idea here. This one doesn't start at 0. It starts out with an X value of 1. So I'm going to do 1 plus 12, because that's my rule. And then the Y value is unaffected. So that's going to be comma negative 5. What's 1 plus 12? So now I get the point 13, comma negative 5. Again, just going through here. This one starts out negative 5, but since I'm moving right 12, that means to add 12 to the X value, and the Y goes unchanged. Negative 4. So what's negative 5 plus 12? 7, there we go. So that gives me 7, comma negative 4. And then the last one, A, comma B, I just have to add 12 to A. So that one ends up just being like our symbolic rule. A plus 12, comma Y. So our rule written in words. I'm just going right 12 each time, right? So that's our rule in words. Any questions about finding these new points here? Pretty easy, right? Moving left to right is pretty easy. Rotating is going to be more tricky. We're going to do that tomorrow. Let's take a look at moving up and down. So clearly this image, the one with the primes, that's always our after image. The one without the primes, the regular letters, is our pre-image. So here with this, I'm just going to shift from here to here. Let's see, last time I counted from D prime or D to D prime. This time, let's do C to C prime. So for this, I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this one is down 9 units. So if I'm going down 9 units, again, that's a rule written in words. What do you think that rule's going to be? X minus 9 or Y minus 9? Y minus 9, perfect. So it's going to be X, comma, Y minus 9. So I'm just taking the 9 off my Y values because my up and down movement represents Y. So again, let's just go here with this. This is going to start out 0, X goes unchanged, then 0 minus 9. What's 0 minus 9? So 0, comma, negative 9. Okay, next point they gave me was 2, comma, 5. And then I have to subtract 9 from the 5 because that's my Y value. What's 5 minus 9 going to give me? X goes unchanged, so that's 2, comma, negative 4, as we said. Good. This next one has a decimal in it. Don't freak out. Again, same thing. X goes untouched, so that says 4.1, comma. Then it says negative 2. And now I need to take 9 away from that. What's negative 2 minus 9? Negative 11 indeed. So it will be 4.1, comma, negative 11. And then the, yes. Yep. And the last one will just be A, comma, B minus 9. Makes sense, right? Yeah. I mean, X movement, Y movement's pretty easy. Now we're going to move on an angle. At first, this may seem tricky, but we just learned every point has, well, we didn't just learn. We've known for a while every point has an X component and a Y component, right? If I move on an angle, I'm moving left and right for some of it and up and down for pieces of it, right? So I'm going to break this slanted motion up into 2 components, left-right movement, up and down movement. So let's go from C to C prime again here. First thing I want to do is count just my X movement. So I'm going to just go across till I line up with where C prime is. I don't count like this. That's no good. Again, I want to count the X component first. So that's going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this component went right 10, and then I count my downward movement from where I was. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. down 4. So if I'm going right 10 and down 4, so that was my rule here. Rule in words would be right 10 and down 4. What would my symbolic rule be here? What do I need to do to X if I'm going right 10? Good, X plus 10. Thank you both for getting that. What about the Y? Y minus 4 because I'm using downward movement, so that's minus. So that's what I'm going to do to each of these. I'm going to do 0 plus 10, Y minus 4. Since that's going to take more space to write, I'm just going to do it. What's 0 plus 10? What's 0 minus 4? So 10 negative 4 would be that new point. What's 2 plus 10? What's 5 minus 4? So 12 comma 1. What would 4.1 be plus 10? 10.1. Or sorry, 14.1. Sorry. We both focus a little too much on the 0.1 there. Hey, we all make mistakes. It's not a big deal. That's 14.1. Negative 2 minus 4. When Logan gets back. Negative 6. And then our general rule, I'm just going to change X and Y to A and B. So A plus 10, B minus 4. No, we're subtracting them. Negative 2. Okay, cool. Hey, we're all waking up. I get it. So that's it. That's our notes part of this. I do want to show you where the stuff is in the folder. The work is just slightly different than how we did the notes. But honestly, if you can understand what we did in the notes, what I'm going to explain in the work is going to be like, oh, okay, I write the rules, write the rule and find the new points. It's really not a big deal. So let's take a look at our work in here. So if I go to our course, we are block 1. We do see it under our upcoming. So we are already in week 8. This marking period's almost over, guys. Please make sure you're getting on top of things. If you have quizzes you need to finish, anything of that nature, we need to figure out how we're getting that done, okay? So we're in Thursday. Major activities. Again, we have the blank notes and the completed notes. I will be uploading this recording in a second. If I go to the practice, now this practice isn't bad to do with Cami, okay? If you want to do a paper and pencil, I do have graph paper for you. That opened over here. So here's what I'm asking you to do for the work here. So we see the original image. So you're just going to write your XY points for the original image. Remember, when you go to the left, that's negative, right is positive, up is positive, down is negative. Then you'll come up with your rule, like, oh, X plus 5 and Y plus 1. Then you're going to take the points you have here, the points right here, and you're going to follow your rule to get your new points. Once you get your new points, I want you to draw your new image here. Now, here's the cool part about this. Say you don't like doing it that way. What you could do is I could count from each point, be like, oh, go right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1, and plot your new point. And you could just write that new point over here. I cannot tell the difference between if you wrote the rule first, added or subtracted what you needed to subtract, got your new points, then plotted it. or if you counted over each time and then wrote your new points off of that and then wrote down the rule. So that's what I have for you today. Let me stop recording. So.